You're watching Adam the Bull on the Bet Rivers Network.
Welcome, everyone, to the latest edition of the Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers. If you're not using the Bet Rivers app, you're not using the Bet Rivers website by now, you are missing out. Go check it out today. Don't wait a minute longer. All your gambling needs, parlays, point spreads, futures. In fact, if you look at I'll bring up the updated one right now, just updating as we speak. The Cavs, not for the Cavs, though, they remain plus 700 to win the NBA title, even though they keep on winning. Plus 700, the third choice. The Celtics and Thunder are plus 175. The Cavs at plus 700. Then a big drop to the Nuggets at plus 1,400. Meanwhile, in terms of NCAA tournament, Duke is the favorite, co-favorites with Auburn at plus 340. My favorite team, St. John's, is the seventh choice at plus 2,500, coming off a win against Butler yesterday. So check it all out at Bet Rivers. A lot of football to talk about here. Obviously, the Cavs didn't play yesterday. I want to get to, so for the last 2 years, the NFL Players Association has asks their players to vote on, I believe it's 11 different categories. Treatment of families, food, dining, locker room, nutrition, training room, training staff, weight rooms, strength coaches, team travel, head coach, and ownership. How did the Browns do? I'll get to that in a minute. But I was sad to learn this morning that legendary actor Gene Hackman died. He, his wife, and their dog were found dead in their home in New Mexico after a wellness check. So sad. Gene Hackman's one of my all-time favorite actors. They said, the article I was reading, WKYC News here in Cleveland, it said that foul play is not expected, which is weird because, they don't suspect foul play, even though he, his wife, and his dog died. It's just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Gene Hackman was 95, I believe. And just an awesome actor. Obviously, most people think of him from Hoosiers, but there's a laundry list of great movies that he was in. So condolences to their family. Very, very sad news. All right. A different type of sad is what we see with the Browns, the NFLPA report card. Now, you don't know for sure exactly how many players of the Browns voted. Not every player had a chance to vote, but obviously not every player did. You gave the grading scale went from an A+ to an F-. Yeah, if you've been to school, I've never heard of an F-, but okay, there you go. Anything under a 60 is an F, under a 50 is an F-, which is embarrassing. And the Browns did get one F- there. And we have the graphic, obviously, for the report card. You'll see some of this, but I'll give you the grades the Browns got, and then I'll just go over some of them. Treatment of families, D+. The only teams that got worse at treatment of families, the Bengals, the Jaguars, and the Rams. That's it. Food/dining area, the Browns got a C-. Only teams that got worse, the Bengals, the Saints, and the Cardinals. I'll skip nutritionist, dietitian. They got a B-. Pretty much everybody got a B on that one, so I'm just going to leave that B. Locker room, Browns got an F-, tied with Arizona for the worst. This is not trending in a good direction here, folks, as you can see. Training room, Browns got a D+. Only the Cardinals got worse. Training staff, Browns got a C-. You're like, okay, that's not too terrible. Yes, it is. That's the worst grade. The Browns training staff, C-, worst grade. The only really strong grade the Browns got, weight room. Browns got an A, which is near the top. That's it. Strength coaches. Browns got a B+, which is, every team got at least a B, except for the Broncos, Cardinals, and Steelers. So that's fine. Team travel. Browns got a D, tied with the Panthers for the fourth worst. Only the Eagles, Patriots, and Bills got a worse grade for team travel. Now, two of the big ones. Head coach. Kevin Stefanski got a C. 29 of the 32 teams 28 of the 32 teams gave their coach a B or better. The Saints gave their coach a B minus. He got fired. The Jags gave their coach a C. He got fired. The Bears gave their coach a C. He got fired. And the Browns gave their coach a C. The only head coach to get below a B that did not get fired, Kevin Stefanski, you got a C. That's not great. And I know some people were saying to me yesterday, well, they had a terrible season. Oh, of course they got a C. Okay, I'll reiterate what I said a little bit about on Twitter yesterday. The New York Jets, miserable season. Miserable. Coach got fired. They voted their coach a B. Patriots had a miserable season. Lack of talent. Coach got fired after 1 year. Players gave him a B+. The Giants, huge bust this season. A mess at quarterback. They blew it with Saquon Barkley. Their coach barely hung on. They gave him a B+. The Titans, mess. A- for their coach. Panthers, ugly season. They gave their coach an A-. Raiders fired their coach. Players gave him an A-. Dallas, huge bust of a season. They let McCarthy walk. Their players gave him an A. Niners, bust of a season. Terrible, disappointing season. They gave their coach an A. The Colts were a mess at quarterback. They voted their coach an A. Miami, now the rest of the teams had good seasons. Even the Bengals didn't make the playoffs second year in a row. I know I'm not high on the coach. The players voted him an A. So pretty bad indictment of Kevin Stefanski, who was already on the borderline with me about whether he should get fired or not. When I saw that, I was like, wow, that players don't love him. And finally, ownership. This one is a bit of a surprise. He actually had a higher grade last year, but Jimmy Haslam actually got a C+, which is not great, but not the worst. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams that got a worse grade, and 2 that tied with Jimmy. I mean, that's bad, because to me, Jimmy's probably the worst owner in the league, certainly in the conversation. Jets owner got an F. Cardinals and Panthers a D-. Patriots and Steelers a D. Buccaneers, the Steelers got a D. That was a little surprising. Buccaneers got a D+, the owner. Chiefs got a C-. That's a shocker. Bengals and Rams, their owners got C's. And then you have the Browns, the Giants, and the Seahawks who got C+. The best owners, according to, and across the board, Dolphins, Vikings, Falcons. Those 3 teams are doing a lot right. Now, they haven't won a ton. Well, they've won enough. I mean, they haven't won a Super Bowl or anything. But those teams got an A in almost every category, those 3 teams. Falcons got a B+ in team travel and a B in training room. Vikings got a B+ in nutritionist, dietitian. Otherwise, they got all A's. And the Dolphins got an A in everything. So kudos to those organizations doing things right. So a couple of thoughts on the Browns. First of all, treatment of families. I mentioned that the Browns got a D+. That's terrible. Again, the only teams that got a worse grade, the Bengals, the Jaguars, and the Rams. Cardinals got the same grade. You don't want to be near the bottom of treatment of families. Both the Ohio teams are a disgrace. The Bengals have been near the bottom on that 2 years in a row. I don't know what goes into that exactly. I think some of it is the way you take care of families on game day. I think a lot of it is how you take care of families during training camp. But the Cleveland Browns are clearly not doing a good enough job. That's a big problem. That's inexcusable. That's something that has nothing to do with the things that have nothing to do with how good the team is. There's no excuse for that. For the players to feel like their families are being treated poorly is inexcusable. Surprisingly, you think like a great organization, the Eagles and the Steelers, which you think of as really good organizations, they're a C-, not much better than the Browns. A food dining area, C-. I mean, the Browns getting a D+ for the training room and an F- for the locker room. I've actually never been in the Browns locker room at the stadium. I've been in the one at Berea, or actually, I think there's a new one now, so I haven't been there the last couple of years. But, obviously they want a new stadium, but that has nothing to do with the training room at Berea. That's not good. And the fact that the training staff got the worst possible grade, I mean, if you're on the training staff of the Browns, you're probably pissed today. But the players don't feel like you're doing a good job. Strength coach, fine. Weight room, obviously, is the one thing the Browns did well. And that's about it. But I think what really stands out is the indictment on Kevin Stefanski and the fact that Browns players who, have a lot of reason to be pissed at the organization to begin with, feel like their families are not taken care of. And that's, to me, inexcusable. The Browns, they got to do better. There's already a million things they got to do better. Now you can add to the list. All right, thanks for joining me as always. I'll be back on Monday. We have the Cavs taking on the Celtics on Friday, tomorrow. And so obviously we'll talk about that on Monday and the latest on the Browns and a whole lot more. Until then, talk to you next time. Where else but right here in the Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers. See you, everybody.